Hello, good morning, dear students. Welcome to KLS Kokti College of Commerce, Belagavi. Myself, Professor S.B. Vendigiri, Department of Economics, taking online classes for third semester students. In our previous videos, in the first and second videos, we were discussed about the introduction and the factors influencing and inhibiting industrialization. Today, let us have a discussion on the another important topic in the first unit, that is public sector. Do you know what is the meaning of public sector? Before going to that meaning of public sector, let us have a focus on the introduction and the preamble of public sector in India. Public sector has dominated Indian economic scene for more than 4 decades, means that is 40 years. It is a sector where the ownership and management of industrial units is in the hands of either state or central government. Since the second 5-year plan, major activities under the plan has been taken care of public sector. Indian economic planning has focused more on the public sector activity. And even the Industrial Policy Resolution of 1956 also clearly stated that the role of public sector is very much important and it is predominant in case of economic development of the country. Since 1991, the Government of India has planned to reduce the role of public sector during 8th, 9th and 10th 5-year plan and even 11th 5-year plan also. The Planning Commission has also observed the public sector has also to pioneer some of the key but difficult projects where gestation lags are very large and full employment can be reached only after several years of operation. Especially public sector plays an important role in the development process of the country. Right from independence till 1991, India has given greater importance for public sector and most of the major activities were left in the hands of public sector. Now coming to the meaning of public sector. Public sector is a sector where, as I said in the beginning, where the ownership and management of industrial activities are in the hands of either state or central government. Here, the 100% equity shares are owned and managed by government. That is called as public sector. Here there is no role of private entrepreneurs. Each and every activities, the profit and loss is always shouldered by either state or central government is called as public sector. Especially public sector has its own role, its own important in the development of Indian economy. Indian economy has given greater importance for the development of public sector as against private entrepreneurs. Now coming to the next part of the public sector, that is the role of public sector in Indian economy, which is a most important topic for 5 marks question in the annual examination. So let us have a discussion on the role or importance of public sector in Indian economy. Especially these roles are classified into 8 categories. There are 8 different types of role which is being played by public sector in Indian economy for the development of the entire country, for example. The first role which is played by public sector is rapid industrial development. Each countries of the world and also countries like India always expecting 360-degree development in the economy. This 360-degree development in the economy is possible only when these all sectors like public sector, private sector and joint sectors equally growing in a simultaneous manner. Then only there is a possibility of overall development or else a 360-degree development of country, for example. When it is left to itself by private sector, always private sectors expect profit-oriented business. They focus more on profit-oriented enterprises. But what about the loss-bearing or else the break-even analysis-oriented businesses? These loss-bearing enterprises are always taken care by the government, that is public sector. Especially the countries like India and other Asian continent, most of the countries are developing countries and also underdeveloping countries. These countries always expect quick and rapid development in the economy. This quick and rapid development in the economy is possible by development of the simultaneous development of this public sector, private sector and joint sector. Keeping this in the mind, Government of India has decided to give more importance for public sector in the beginning of independence till 1991. In that period, most of the dominant industries were given in the hands of private sector, that is basic and key industries and heavy industries were taken care by the public sector. And the dominant role is given in the hands of public sector for the development of industries. So because of that, there is a possibility of rapid industrial development. Coming to the second role which is played by public sector, that is building socialistic pattern of society. Building up of the socialistic pattern of society requires the expansion of the public sector. The growth of public sector ensures rapid economic development and greater employment opportunities. The growth of private monopolies and concentration of economic power in the hands of only few is not able to provide the employment opportunities to everyone, and there is no possibility of economic development of the country, and it creates income and wealth inequalities between the population. It means what? Rich become richer and poor become poorer because of inequalities in income and wealth. When the private sectors are dominated, there are possibilities of monopolies and concentration of economic power in the hands of only rich class people. So if it is done, there is a possibility of social unrest and exploitation of resources and exploitation of human resources by private entrepreneurs. To avoid these problems, Government of India has decided to give greater importance for public sector. So because of that, building socialistic pattern of society is another important role which is played by public sector. Coming to the next role which is played by public sector is provision for infrastructure. Infrastructure is a basic requirement for the industrialization and also economic development of the country. There is a need of adequate infrastructure for rapid industrial development and particularly for the private sector to undertake most of the enterprises. In advanced countries of the world, infrastructure facilities like railway, roads, communication, electricity, water, and etc. are easily available. But in case of countries like India and the other Asian continent, in these countries, these facilities are not available properly, periodically, timely supposed to be. Because of that, there is no possibility of industrialization and economic development of the country. Keeping it in mind, Government of India has decided to give greater importance for infrastructure industries to be developed in the country to avoid the problem of basic requirements, because industrialization is always depending upon these basic requirements. If these are not available properly, there is no possibility of industrialization and economic development of the country. Coming to the next important role which is played by public sector in India, that is resource mobilization. Development of underdeveloped countries and rapid industrialization requires resources mobilization on a massive scale, for example. Especially when we are able to mobilize resources like capital, raw materials, infrastructure, and investment, for example, then there is a possibility of industrialization in the country. Especially when it is given in the hands of private sector, they always focus on profit-oriented businesses. And loss-bearing industries are suffering a lot in India. Because of that, public sector has given greater importance for how to mobilize resources for the industrialization. Coming to the next important role which is played by public sector in India is optimum allocation of resources. Optimum and rational allocation of resources is one of the objectives of our planned economy. The scarce resources should be put to the best possible uses. The private sector, which is profit motivated, may misallocate these resources. It may try to produce non-essential luxury goods at a time when the need is that of producing the necessaries of life. It means what? Private entrepreneurs are always focusing more on luxurious products which are not required for the poor and middle class people. They are not able to purchase these goods and services, but private entrepreneurs are always focusing on these products which are more profitable. So because of that, optimum allocation of resources is also very much important for the development of industrialization and economic development of the country. Coming to the next role of public sector, that is instrument of social change. Social change can be done only when the people of the country are properly educated. The education is very much important instrument for bringing social change in the economy. It is the only sophisticated weapon. Education is the only sophisticated weapon to bring sudden change in the society. So, the growth of public sector in underdeveloped countries is justified not only on technical grounds like mobilization of resources, optimum allocation of resources, but also to act as the instrument of social change. So, because of that, social change can be done only with the help of education. So, the purpose of the development of public sector in India is how to increase the literacy ratio in the economy. That is all about instrument of social change. Coming to the next one, that is balanced regional development. To avoid imbalances in the regional development, Government of India has decided to start industries in each corners of the country, and it is also decided to start public sector units where there are no private sector units, for example. To bring balance in overall development of industries, Government of India has decided to start to establish new industrial public sector units in remote and backward areas in village or tribal areas to bring balance in industrialization in the country, for example. Coming to the next and the most important and last point, that is the last role of the public sector is creation of investable resources. Investable resources means the resources which are used for further production, that is called as reinvestable resources. The private sector may not flow back its profit for investment. The private industries use their profits for conspicuous consumption, but the public sector can use its resources and profits for further investment. It means what? Once private entrepreneurs got maximum profit by any type of units, industrial units, they never reinvest that profit. And when it comes to public sector, whatever profit earned by public sector can be reused or reinvested in different types of activities. It is the difference between public and private sectors. Private sectors never reinvest their profit, but public sectors like government, either state or central government, they always reuse or reinvest their capital for the development of industrialization and economic development of the country. Whatever profit-making industries and loss-making industries are there in India, the top 10 profit-making industries and loss-making industries slide I have shown in the screen, on the screen. Here, the top 10 profit-making industries in India are Indian Oil Corporation, Central Coalfield Limited, Minerals and Metal Trading Corporation, State Trading Corporations, Oil and Natural Gas Commission, Indian Petrochemical Industries Limited, Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, Western Coalfield Limited. These are the top 10 profit-making enterprises in India. Coming to the top 10 loss-making enterprises, that is public sector enterprises in India, are Fertilizers Corporation of India, Eastern Coalfield Limited, Hindustan Fertilizer Corporation Limited, Heavy Engineering Corporation, Delhi Transport Corporation, Bharat Cooking Coal Limited, National Fertilizers Limited, Hindustan Steel Works Construction Limited, Bharat Aluminium Company Limited, and the last one is Air India. These are the top 10 loss-making industries in India. With this, we'll stop today's online classes for third semester students, that is industrial economics. The remaining part of the same topic we shall discuss in the next online class. Till then, take care. Thank you very much.